The guy stepping out of a BMW might have only $47 in his bank account. That designer item your coworker bought may cost more than his entire emergency fund. The man at the bar talking about his investment portfolio could be carrying more credit card debt than actual investments. And the influencer showing off a luxury lifestyle might already be 3 months behind on rent. Nearly half of Americans with credit cards carry balances from month to month. Yet luxury car sales keep rising. Designer brands keep reporting record revenue. The gap between what people own and what people spend has never been wider. Welcome to the era of fake rich. Americans now owe $1.28 trillion in credit card debt. The average household carries more than $100,000 in total debt. And still, parking lots are filled with luxury cars. Malls are full of designer bags. Social media is flooded with people performing a lifestyle they cannot actually afford. Something about this does not make sense. Here is what is really going on. A huge number of people have learned how to look wealthy without actually building wealth. They have mastered the image of success while building nothing underneath it. From a distance, everything looks impressive. Up close, the whole thing falls apart. Real wealth stays quiet. Fake wealth makes noise. Once you learn the signs, you will start seeing fake rich everywhere. More importantly, you will avoid falling into the same trap yourself. Because these habits do not just look foolish, they quietly destroy your ability to build real wealth. So let's break down the 10 signs someone is pretending to be rich. The first sign is the entry-level luxury trap. This is when someone buys the cheapest version of the most expensive brand. The base model BMW, the Gucci logo belt, the starter Louis Vuitton bag. The goal is not quality, the goal is the logo. Walk through any parking lot and you will see this everywhere. A stripped-down Mercedes with manual seats and no navigation, an Audi with the smallest engine and no real upgrades. These cars exist for a reason. Manufacturers understand that many buyers are not paying for performance. They are paying for the badge on the front. And here is where the trap becomes obvious. A fully loaded Honda Accord costs about the same as a base model luxury sedan. The Honda comes with more features, a more comfortable interior, better reliability, and lower maintenance costs. Oh, but the person chasing status does not want the Honda. He wants people to see the emblem on the hood, and the real cost is not just the purchase price. That entry-level luxury car still comes with premium fuel, expensive maintenance, higher insurance, and costly repairs. A base model Mercedes can cost far more to own than a fully loaded Toyota, not once but every single month for years. This is where the math becomes brutal. Someone pretending to be rich might spend 20 to 30% of his income just to look wealthy. Someone who is actually wealthy often spends only 2 to 5% on those same things. Over decades, that gap turns into hundreds of thousands of dollars that never get invested. People with real wealth usually buy luxury items after they have built wealth. Fake rich people do the opposite. They buy the symbol first and hope the money shows up later. Most of the time, it never does. The second sign is constant money talk. This is the person who keeps pulling every conversation toward income, investments, spending, or some deal he is working on. No matter what you are talking about, he finds a way to make himself sound successful. You could be talking about pizza, and he turns it into a story about how his income changed his diet. You mention a vacation, and he starts explaining his travel strategy based on how much he spends. You bring up someone else's success, and within seconds, he redirects the conversation back to himself. People who are truly secure financially do not feel the need to constantly talk about money. That performance is not for you. It is for them. It is external validation covering internal doubt. And there is one pattern you should always watch for. They talk constantly about money they are going to make, not money they have already made. I've got a big deal closing next month. Once this investment hits, everything changes. I'm working on something huge right now. Always future tense because the present reality does not match the image being sold. Money is not real until it is in your bank account. Deals collapse, investments fail, opportunities disappear. But the fake rich talk about projected income like it is already sitting in their account because the truth about their current situation is not impressive enough. Another giveaway is confusing revenue with profit. Someone brags that his business made $500,000, but his actual take-home was $50,000. That is still respectable, but it is not the story he is trying to sell. The exaggeration exposes the insecurity. People with real wealth are usually quiet about money, not because they are hiding it, but because they do not need to prove anything to anyone. The third sign might be the most dangerous, owning luxury items that cost more than what is in the bank account. Someone carrying a $5,000 bag with only $2,000 saved. A luxury watch on the wrist of someone with a maxed-out credit card. This happens all the time. That purchase is not a reward for success. It is a costume, a visual performance of a life that does not exist yet. There is a simple rule. If you cannot afford to buy it twice, you cannot afford it. If one purchase equals 2 or 3 months of income, that is not wealth. That is living far above your means while pretending everything is fine. Think about what that item really represents. Not achievement, not discipline, not smart financial planning, just the decision to trade future security for present appearance. Oh, that bag might impress someone for a few seconds. An empty savings account creates stress for years. Many people even finance designer items. Paying interest on a bag, making monthly payments on a watch, the item loses value while the debt grows. By the time it is fully paid off, they have spent far more than the original price on something now worth far less than what they paid. People with real wealth rarely make purchases that threaten their financial stability. Their luxury items represent a small percentage of their net worth, not a large percentage of their monthly income. The fourth sign is the constant one-upper. No matter what you accomplish, they have done something bigger. No matter what you buy, they bought something more expensive. No matter what happens in your life, their version is always more impressive. Oh, you get a promotion? They got a bigger one. You take a vacation, they spent 2 weeks in the south of France flying business class. You buy a watch and they explain why theirs has a better movement and how you can hear the precision in the way the second hand moves. Imagine a dinner where someone shares that he just bought his first home. Before anyone can even congratulate him, the one-upper interrupts to explain why he should have bought a bigger property and then tells the story of his own purchase. The mood in the room changes instantly. Someone's proud moment becomes small. Or at work, you mention that you signed a new client. Immediately, the one-upper starts talking about a bigger client he signed, how much commission he made, and the expensive dinner he was taken to afterward. Your success disappears into his need to dominate the conversation. This is not conversation. This is competition. Every interaction becomes a game they have to win. The psychology is obvious. One-upping comes from insecurity, not confidence. Someone who is genuinely successful can be happy for you. He does not need to redirect attention back to himself because his self-worth is not built on being superior in every conversation. People pretending to be rich feel threatened by success that is not theirs. Your success makes them feel smaller, so they minimize your achievement and exaggerate their own. Real wealth allows someone to celebrate others. Fake wealth turns everything into a comparison. The fifth sign is social media performance, carefully staged posts showing luxury experiences, expensive purchases, and a lifestyle designed to look wealthy, whether the money is real or not. If someone actually has money, he does not feel the need to record every moment of his life for strangers online. But for the fake rich, wealth only feels real once other people see it. The experience is not complete until it is posted. The purchase does not feel rewarding until it gets attention. Here is the uncomfortable truth about social media. Showing discipline is boring. Showing off is entertaining. A video of someone spending $1,000 at the mall will always get more attention than a video of someone putting $1,000 into savings. One looks exciting. The other looks responsible. So the system rewards appearances, not behavior. People learn very quickly that looking wealthy gets attention even if the wealth is not real. So they start performing a lifestyle instead of building one. Nobody posts the boring parts of life. Nobody uploads videos of budgeting, cooking at home, or staying in on weekends to save money. Nobody shows the discipline. Social media is a highlight reel, not real life. But the fake rich want you to believe their highlight reel is their normal life. You should also watch for fake engagement. Some accounts have huge follower numbers, but the comments are full of bots repeating the same generic messages. They are buying the appearance of influence to support the appearance of wealth. It is all staged, image supporting image, illusion supporting illusion. Meanwhile, people with real money often keep a very small online presence. They do not need validation from strangers, and they certainly do not want strangers tracking their financial life. The sixth sign is leasing luxury cars. This one has become so normal that many people do not even recognize it as a warning sign anymore. When you lease a car, you are paying for the years when the car loses value the fastest. You are paying for depreciation, then giving the car back before you ever own it. The dealership calculates what the car will be worth at the end of the lease, and you pay the difference between the original price and that future value, plus interest, taxes, and fees. If a $50,000 car is worth $30,000 after 3 years, that means you are basically paying $20,000 in depreciation plus interest just to drive it for a few years. Then you return it and start the process again with another car. Lease, return, lease again, return again, payments forever, ownership never. Someone who leases cars for 20 years can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and end up owning nothing. Leasing is one of the most expensive long-term ways to drive a car, but it allows people to afford the monthly payment on a car they could never actually afford to buy. That is why it is so popular. The person driving the leased luxury car looks successful. The monthly payment fits the budget. But what you do not see is that he is building no equity, paying higher insurance, and committing himself to permanent car payments with nothing to show for it later. If someone truly wants a luxury car for personal enjoyment, buying a used one is usually the smarter financial decision. But used cars do not come with that brand new look and feeling, and fake rich is all about appearances. The seventh sign is counterfeit goods. If someone carries fake designer items, he is literally advertising that he is pretending to be something he is not. People who understand luxury products can spot fake items instantly. The stitching looks wrong. The material feels different. The logo placement is slightly off. The hardware feels cheap. To a trained eye, it is obvious. Here is the ironic part. Fake designer items are not even cheap. A decent counterfeit bag might cost $200 or $300. For that same amount of money, someone could buy a high-quality product from a smaller brand. Real materials, good craftsmanship, original design, just without the famous logo. But fake rich is not about quality. It is about recognition. So someone will spend $200 on a fake product with a famous logo instead of spending $200 on a well-made product without one. The logo matters more than the product itself. Some people say they just like the design and are not trying to impress anyone. But if that were true, they would buy original designs from brands they can actually afford. Choosing a knockoff of a famous brand reveals the real reason behind the purchase. The brand name is the point. It was never really about the design. It was always about the logo. Counterfeit items deliver neither real status nor real quality. The people they are trying to impress can usually tell the item is fake and the product itself is poorly made. Money gets spent just to carry around proof of pretending. The eighth sign is constantly talking about get-rich-quick opportunities. Not the obvious scams, those are easy to spot. The more believable ones. Forex trading, drop shipping, crypto day trading, option strategies, multi-level marketing, infinite banking. Some new system that is supposedly going to change everything if you get in early. A very small number of people make money in these areas. Most people lose money, but fake rich personalities love these opportunities because they live in the future. They are always talking about what is about to happen, what is about to work, what is about to make them successful. The future becomes an excuse for the lack of results in the present. This is the usual pattern. Someone finds a new opportunity and goes all in. He talks about it constantly, tries to bring other people into it, and speaks with complete confidence. 6 months later, the idea failed and the money is gone, but that part never gets mentioned. Instead, there is already a new opportunity, a new plan, and a new promise that this one will be different. The cycle repeats every year or two. A long list of failed attempts that never get acknowledged, always chasing the next big thing that is definitely going to work this time. Admitting failure would destroy the image they have built, so they just keep moving forward. Still talking, still promising, still believing. Real wealth is usually built slowly, quietly, over many years, sometimes decades. It almost never comes from turning a few $1,000s into millions in a year. But slow and steady does not fit the fake rich identity. They need something exciting happening even if it only exists in their plans. If someone cannot stop talking about the next big opportunity, the current one probably is not working. The ninth sign is giving condescending money advice. This is different from one-upping. This person tells you what you should be doing with your money, criticizes your financial choices, and assumes his way is the correct way for everyone. You say you like your apartment, he says you should have upgraded by now. You drive a reliable used car. He asks why you have not financed something newer. You focus on saving money. He tells you that you should invest in the same things he invests in. The advice is never requested, and it always leads back to the decisions he personally made, whether or not those decisions make sense for someone else. What is really happening is simple. He needs to believe his decisions were right. If you succeed using a different strategy, it threatens his story, so he criticizes your choices to protect his own. But money is personal. Everyone has different goals, different responsibilities, different timelines, and different tolerance for risk. Someone who truly understands money understands that there is no single path that works for everyone. People pretending to be rich need everyone else to agree with their decisions, because deep down, they are not fully confident in those decisions themselves. Someone who is truly wealthy does not need you to copy him to feel secure. The 10th and final sign is overdoing everything. Too many logos, too much jewelry, too much cologne. Instead of looking like a successful person who owns nice things, he looks like a walking advertisement for luxury brands. The image is based on what wealthy characters look like in movies, not what wealthy people look like in real life. Everything is loud, nothing is subtle. Here is something interesting. Look at photos of real billionaires on normal days. Not at formal events, not at business conferences, just normal life. Many of them dress simply. The same clothes, simple cars, normal houses. If you passed them on the street, you probably would not notice them at all. They do not need attention. They do not need approval. Their identity is not connected to what strangers think when they look at them. People who are truly wealthy can afford almost anything, which is exactly why they do not feel the need to buy everything. Fake rich operates from the opposite mindset. He feels like he has something to prove. So every purchase becomes a statement, every accessory becomes evidence, and the louder the display, the more desperate the attempt. In most rooms, the wealthiest person is usually dressed the most normal. Maybe one or two high-quality items, but nothing meant to loudly signal status. He does not need to impress strangers. His confidence does not come from other people's opinions. When every single thing someone wears is designed to signal money, the signal stops looking like success and starts looking like insecurity. It feels forced. The effort becomes visible. Real wealth is usually quiet because it does not need attention. Real wealth is not about what people see. It is about what you have built. The freedom to make decisions without financial pressure. The ability to handle emergencies without panic. The investments quietly growing in accounts that nobody else sees. Fake wealth is a performance, and performances are expensive to maintain. The car payment never stops. The wardrobe always needs updating. The lifestyle always needs funding. Every month, money goes toward maintaining the image, and almost nothing goes toward building real financial strength. In the end, the person pretending to be rich often becomes poorer over time. The act of looking wealthy prevents him from actually becoming wealthy. He is running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up, forcing him to run faster every year just to maintain an illusion that produces nothing real. Well, at the deepest level, the difference between fake rich and real rich comes down to one thing: what the decisions are optimized for. Fake rich makes decisions based on how things look to other people. Every purchase goes through the same filter. Will this impress people? Will this signal status? Will this make me look successful? A truly wealthy person uses a completely different filter. Does this make sense for my life? Does this move me closer to financial independence? Does this align with what I actually value? One mindset builds wealth, the other slowly destroys it. So the next time you see someone projecting a luxury lifestyle, look a little closer. The base model luxury car, the constant money talk, the social media performance, the one-upping, the condescending advice. Show the designer items that may cost more than the money sitting in the bank. Once you know the signs, fake rich becomes easy to spot. More importantly, look at your own decisions. Are you spending money to improve your future, or are you spending money to protect an image? Real wealth does not need attention. It does not need approval. It exists whether people see it or not. The goal is not to look rich. The goal is to become rich. One road is expensive, stressful, and leads nowhere. The other is quiet, patient, and eventually gives you options that most people only pretend to have. Choose carefully.